The best affordable skincare for acne-prone skin. Well, hey guys, times they're expensive. Now, if you're someone who has dry skin, check out my recent video on affordable dry skincare products. I will link it down below in the description box. Now, when it comes to acne, you have basic skincare products and you also have acne products with active ingredients in them that are approved to treat acne. Depending on your acne, over-the-counter acne treatments might actually be all that you need to control your acne. Now, when it comes to acne, consistency is key. You can't just start and stop things when your acne seems to be at its worst. You have to stay consistent. That not only helps clear the acne, but it also helps prevent future breakouts, and it makes it so that when you do have breakouts in the future, they're much shorter. Beyond active acne treatment ingredients, which are approved to be sold over the counter without a prescription, you have a basic skincare routine. Now, you don't need a ton of complicated stuff. You don't need 50 million serums, toners, lotions, etc. All you need is a basic cleanser, a moisturizer, and a sunscreen. And in this video, I'll name some really affordable, budget-friendly ones. But don't underestimate the utility of the basics. Every step of a basic skincare routine, cleanse, moisturize, sunscreen, supports control of your acne. Cleanser removes dirt, pollutants, collections of sebum off the skin surface that otherwise oxidizes, causes inflammation that further aggravates acne. Moisturizers help address your barrier. If you have acne, there's a good chance you have oily skin. There's this misunderstanding that oily skin means the skin is moisturized, when in reality, in the case of acne, most acne patients have an impaired skin barrier. They have a tendency to lose water for irritating stuff to get into the skin more readily, leading to aggravation of the acne, which is an inflammatory condition, more breakouts. Consistent use of a moisturizer, do not fear. It can help improve barrier function, help you tolerate your acne treatments better. And then, of course, do not shy away from good sun protection. Sunscreen is so important because UV rays from the sun, they get in the way of proper healing pathways. They suppress the immune system. A lot of people find that their acne seems to clear up sometimes when they go out in the sun, in the beach, only to have it flare and get much worse when they stop going out in the sun, kind of a rebound effect due to the way it messes around with the immune system. Furthermore, the sun, it will not only slow down the healing of your acne, but make it much more likely that your acne will heal with a dark mark once the acne has gone. And that dark mark, especially if you have a deeper skin tone, can take a very long time to clear up. All right, so let's start off with some affordable, budget-friendly skincare products with active acne treatments. I'm going to give you 3. You don't necessarily need to use all 3 of these. Let's talk salicylic acid. Salicylic acid is an over-the-counter acne treatment, and it has a predilection for the pores. It helps exfoliate them. It's also anti-inflammatory and can also be beneficial in improving hyperpigmentation. You can buy products that have salicylic acid that can be used 1 to 2 times a day that you leave on the skin, or you can use a cleanser with salicylic acid. One of my favorite affordable cleansers, I forget to mention it sometimes, is by the brand Zap-Zit. Lesser known, you're not going to get a ton of promotion for Zap-Zit over on TikTok or Instagram or here on YouTube. You're just not going to see ads for it. They're 2% salicylic acid. They're acne wash cleanser. $6.93 as of the filming of this video for 6.25 ounces. I like this because it has salicylic acid and not a whole lot else going on. It's free of fragrance. How do you use this? Use this to take advantage of the salicylic acid. It is not a product that you should be using to remove your makeup at the end of the day. It's a product where you're going to use it with the point in mind of short contact therapy. And what I mean by that is you're going to lather it to your face, avoiding around the eyes, avoiding around the mouth, and avoiding around the nose, and avoiding the neck, because salicylic acid can be irritating in these areas. You see, it's not meant to wash off your makeup per se, so don't go using it around your nose and to your whole face. It can end up drying the skin out there. But let that lather sit on the skin for a few minutes, and that will really help allow you to get that salicylic acid on the skin, to take advantage of the ingredient, and then you rinse it off. Then after you rinse it off, you're gonna follow with a moisturizer, and I'll give you a recommendation for a facial moisturizer that won't break the bank in a moment. That is one option. You can use it 1, 2, even 3 times a day if you have nothing better to do than experiment around with washing your face, but most people cannot comply with washing their face 3 times a day. Be careful, that could dry out your skin. 1 to 2 times a day as tolerated, and as tolerated will vary depending on how oily your skin is, but overall this is not a super drying acne cleanser. Number 2 is benzoyl peroxide. Now benzoyl peroxide has a long-standing history as an effective and safe acne treatment. It's often reached for as a spot treatment because if you get a pimple out of nowhere and put a little benzoyl peroxide on there, it'll help clear up that pimple a lot faster. It works by targeting the acne-causing bacteria that lives down in the pore, Cutibacterium acnes. It's also beneficial in acne because in contrast to antibiotics, benzoyl peroxide, the bacteria on your skin, they cannot become resistant to it, so it's safe to use long term. Now, there has been some recent controversy regarding benzoyl peroxide. Valley Shore, a lab, found benzene, a carcinogen, in benzoyl peroxide products. But before you freak out about that, you have to understand that the conditions for which the benzoyl peroxide products were tested were far from realistic. This study was not peer-reviewed, meaning no one was able to critique it before it was published to the internet. It wasn't published in a peer-reviewed journal, so no one was able to weigh in on the methodologies if they were appropriate. This company also has a track record of inadequate, inappropriate laboratory methods. They have been critiqued by the FDA. And this company also has a patent for a shelf-stable benzoyl peroxide, which was not disclosed to the public as of the posting of these results recently. So there are a lot of red flags there. This needs to be reproduced, but all that to say, you can feel safe with regards to the benzoyl peroxide products that are sold in the stores. I will tell you, however, that whether it be benzoyl peroxide or any skincare product you use, do not store it in extremely hot temperatures for prolonged periods of time. In other words, don't leave your benzoyl peroxide in your car in the middle of summer for weeks at a time because it can degrade. Same thing with other skincare products, makeup, the formulas can break down in extremes of temperature. Benzoyl peroxide option is from Up and Up. That is the Target store brand. Up and Up has some great skincare. Check out my video reviewing the best skincare from Up and Up, and you'll recall from that video that the acne spot treatment with 2.5% benzoyl peroxide was mentioned in that video. $5.89, free of fragrance. Now, I mentioned this as a spot treatment. That's how a lot of people end up using it. But it can also be used to the entire face, and it works better used to the entire face. Of course, sparing around the eyes, around the mouth, the corners of the nose. These are areas that are more sensitive and can dry out. 2.5% is a nice percentage because it's not as drying as higher percentages, but it is as effective. The reason using it to the entire face is better than just using it as needed as a spot treatment is because it helps to prevent future breakouts when you do that. When you use this, you just need a very thin film. You don't need a huge glob. And you can use it in the morning, you can use it in the evening. It is on the drying side. That will vary from person to person. As far as all of the benzoyl peroxide leave-on products out there, this one is not too drying. It's actually relatively moisturizing. And you're of course gonna wanna make sure you use a moisturizer with it. Do be aware, it's a leave-on benzoyl peroxide product. If it comes in contact with fabrics, it will bleach them. So just be aware of that. It doesn't bleach your skin. If your hair comes in contact with it, it may bleach the hair as well. So be careful not to get your hair to touch your face while the benzoyl peroxide is wet. Don't go lay down on your good bed sheets with benzoyl peroxide on your face. Put an old towel down that you don't care about. I tell people to do that. So that's one. Very affordable. All right, number 3 is, y'all know at this point I have a lot of videos on this active acne treatment. It is adapalene. Brand name different, but you don't have to buy the brand name. And since adapalene became approved for being sold over the counter without a prescription, well, other companies have come out with adapalene. So you don't just need to use different. For example, La Roche-Posay, Neutrogena, and all of the formulas are going to be as effective because it's an over-the-counter medication. So the company I found that has an affordable option is Acne Free. Their adapalene 0.1% gel. Alternatively, I believe Walgreens and CVS have their own store versions of adapalene, but last I checked, they weren't that inexpensive in comparison to even the brand names. But Acne Free is a good option. Now, this is a retinoid. I want you to watch my videos on how to use a retinoid. I have a whole playlist regarding retinoids. I give a lot of tips and tricks on how to introduce it. It can be very irritating in the beginning, but adapalene is one of the least irritating retinoids, and it has a variety of benefits for acne, specifically in that not only is it a less irritating retinoid, so people tolerate it better, but it also has anti-inflammatory properties, and it can help lighten and prevent hyperpigmentation. Now, this, like the other active acne treatments we just covered, you don't want to use near the eyes, you don't want to use in the corners of the mouth, corners of the nose. And again, you only need a very thin film. It can be used at nighttime or in the morning. In contrast to some other forms of topical vitamin A, topical retinoids, adapalene is photostable, technically can be worn during the day, although generally I advise people to put it on at nighttime. Some people will need all 3 to control their acne. Some people may only need the 2 or 1. I can't predict that for you. See a board certified dermatologist if things are not controlled, because you may need prescription treatments. All right, let's get into basic skincare though. No active acne treatments. Moisturizer is important. Do not neglect moisturizer. Moisturizer is not only going to help reduce dryness, it's going to help you tolerate whatever active acne treatment you are on, whether that be benzoyl peroxide, salicylic acid, adapalene, or another retinoid, oral medications that may make your skin dry, like isotretinoin. And one that I haven't recommended in a while, it's by e.l.f. It's their Pure Skin Moisturizer. This is currently $12 for 2.5 ounces. The reason I like this for acne is it has niacinamide, an antioxidant which is anti-inflammatory and also helps with redness and hyperpigmentation, and has a track record of being helpful, in particular for people with acne-prone skin. And niacinamide also can help improve barrier function, which, if you remember back to the beginning of the video, can be an issue, especially for people who have acne. So great there. I like that it's fragrance free. It also has ceramides, which can help with your skin barrier. They're lipids that are naturally part of your skin barrier, and when applied to the skin can help improve barrier function. Hyaluronic acid, a humectant, which is and also oat, which has anti-inflammatory compounds, is moisturizing. Now, this particular moisturizer I have used, it goes on a little streaky, but it's otherwise great. It's $12, like I said. If you don't like the texture of this, e.l.f. also makes a Holy Hydration face cream that is pretty affordable. Now, while niacinamide has many benefits for the skin, it can be particularly beneficial for those of you who are acne prone. Some people find that it is irritating. It burns, it stings, they don't get along well with it. What is a good moisturizer with no niacinamide? Equate Beauty has a version of Neutrogena's old oil-free facial moisturizer, which, if you have been here since the beginning, you know I used to personally use that moisturizer in my skincare routine. Neutrogena discontinued it on us. Equate has a version of it that is excellent. Listen to this. $6.67 for 4 ounces. At the beginning of the video, we covered one cleanser with salicylic acid. You may or may not benefit from salicylic acid, and again, that particular cleanser is not one that you necessarily would use, say, to remove like your makeup to really wash your face. It might be something you use in the morning to benefit from a short contact therapy with the salicylic acid. But what is a good basic cleanser then for acne prone skin? Honestly, you can use any cleanser that you like. There isn't really anything in particular about a cleanser, but one that I find very effective for acne prone skin in terms of its ability to remove oil but not be overly drying, and is also affordable, is the Vanicream Gentle Facial Cleanser. It is $11.29 for 8 ounces, which I happen to think is a pretty good price. Very basic ingredient list, no active ingredients, no niacinamide, no fragrance. Vanicream, as a side note, is a wonderful brand. Hopefully they don't discontinue this cleanser. They have a track record of discontinuing things I aggressively recommend. I don't know if it's a vendetta against my audience or what. But yeah, I really like this cleanser, especially, it's an especially good option if you have skin problems, acne, rosacea, or eczema. You know, it's free of common allergens and irritants. It does the job. All right, let's talk about an area of contention, and that is sunscreen. If you have acne prone skin, there's a good chance that sunscreens are your nemesis. Like, it seems like everyone that you try aggravates your acne. Sun protection is super important. Of course, I'm an advocate of wearing sunscreen, and especially for people who have acne prone skin, it can be tremendously beneficial. But I also want to emphasize the importance of the other sun protective behaviors that need to go alongside sunscreen. Sun hats, sun protective clothing, sunglasses, seeking shade, being mindful of how long you're outdoors in the sun, especially during midday when the sun's rays are most intense. Don't think that these sunscreens are 100% guarantee going to work out for you. There's nothing about any skincare product on this list that is predictive of it being 100% foolproof for somebody with acne. There's no ingredient list out there that like gets a seal of approval as being acne safe. And if you want more information on that, you're confused, you've been led to believe that there is some seal of approval, check out my video debunking acne safe skincare. I talk a lot about how there's really nothing in particular about a product that is predictive of if it's going to aggravate someone's acne. It boils down to the individual as a person and their skin. But one I really like a lot is by Banana Boat. Banana Boat is one of the more affordable sunscreen brands, and they have a facial sunscreen that they came out with last year that I really like personally. It worked out well for me. It's an organic, which is commonly referred to as a chemical sunscreen. No white cast. Now, they have actually a couple of sunscreens in this Protection Plus Vitamins line. One of them is specifically called out for face, and that's the one I'm recommending because of all of them, it is actually fragrance free, and I haven't tried the others. It's SPF 50, which I like. So the other thing I like about it is that it's water resistant. So it's water resistant, SPF 50. This is a great option if you're going to be active outdoors, participating in sport, working up a sweat. It also has niacinamide, which again, niacinamide can offer numerous benefits for people who have acne prone skin. Now, I will point out it does have coconut oil, which a lot of people claim is comedogenic, bad for acne. Now, there's no proof of that. And many people who have acne tolerate coconut oil just fine. However, if you're somebody who reproducibly, every time you use a product containing coconut oil, it aggravates your acne, then this is not for you. But otherwise, I think it's a great option. It's a great option, and it doesn't burn or sting. It doesn't have an odd odor to it. It's actually a really nice formula. In my opinion, it is underhyped. Now, the other sunscreen I want to recommend is a tinted mineral sunscreen. So we have actually a few options here, and affordable or the best price is going to vary depending on where you're buying it from. But there are a few tinted mineral sunscreen options out there that would be great for acne prone skin. The reason you might want to consider a tint is if you are someone who deals with a lot of hyperpigmentation, because the tint in sunscreens comes from iron oxides, which help protect, depending on how the product is formulated, against blue light, which, as a reminder, comes from the sun in significant quantities. Blue light is known to aggravate hyperpigmentation and make it more stubborn. It's the blue light from the sun that you need to be mindful of in this case, not your devices, because it's so weak coming out of devices. It's from the sun. That blue light also comes through window glass, as a side note. Okay, so tinted sunscreens may protect against that. And you have a few good drugstore options these days. You have CeraVe's tinted sunscreen, comes in one shade, a little orangey. You also have Neutrogena's Pure Screen tinted sunscreen, comes in 4 shades. Depending on the shade you choose and where you're buying it from, it can be on the pricey side. Like when this first launched, this line of sunscreens first launched, they were like 18 bucks, but they have come down in price. There'll be sales, keep your eyes peeled. I like that because it comes in a few shades, no niacinamide if you're sensitive, and it is water resistant, SPF 30. Then you also have Eucerin's SPF 35 tinted mineral sunscreen. Another great option, only one shade, a little dewy, but otherwise great. I really like that one a lot as well. I find that it is competitive with many of the high-end tinted sunscreens that are, quote, medical grade. I find that it looks, in my opinion, identical. Then you also have Sunbum's tinted mineral sunscreen. The Sunbum one has this really nice cushiony pore blurring effect. It's very silicone heavy, which can be desirable for people who have oily acne prone skin because it tends to feel nicer, not as greasy on the skin. And it also has this pore blurring effect, which a lot of people who have acne have very prominent pores. So that is another great option. Those are all great options, but I didn't just want to say that one of them was the best because it's very individualized. The prices of these vary a lot depending on what store you're shopping in, whether or not there's a sale. They're kind of all within the same ballpark, and one may work out for you as an individual better than the other, but I wanted to give you some options. All right, y'all, that is a roundup of the best, in my opinion, affordable products for acne prone skin. I hope you found this video useful. You do not need an expensive, complicated skincare routine. And if you're dealing with acne breakouts, keep the routine simple because aggravating your face with a bunch of products, irritating the skin, it's only gonna make the acne much worse. Now, if you have acne prone skin, on the end slide, I'm gonna link my video on things you can do to help support clearing your skin. I give a lot of tips and tricks in that video that go above and beyond just skincare products. So watch that one next. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. And as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.